then. Okay, two things. I would say identify, refine, and build your area of expertise. Because you heard my view earlier that you have to have an area of expertise to be a consultant about something. And the second thing is a lot of consulting is about interpersonal influence and people skills. And so anything you do to build your people skills, dealing with conflict, listening at a deep level, problem solving, et cetera, is really important to consulting.
I definitely want to echo the professional network piece. Just you never know what connections are going to lead to what, and it could even be. I mean, and everywhere you go, that those connections can be made. It could be in a line at the grocery store. It could be at church. I was in a different role where I, learned about somebody's role at a church event and ended up, and not that I'm trying to be opportunistic, but to be aware of, of what everybody, what everybody's connections might be to what it is you're doing. On a more kind of practical note, while you're in college or while you're, studying and getting involved in different, organizations and maybe, working part-time, that kind of thing, when it comes time to building your resume, don't pad it with just that you've, been a member of a million different things. Really put some thought into the types of things you want to do, and as we've said before, try to find roles within those clubs, within those volunteer organizations where you can, specify, something that you accomplished during that, because that, a resume might get you in the door, but when we sit down and meet with you, especially not having any work experience at the entry level, you really do need to be able to speak about what it is that you did in those groups, not just attend meetings, not just get the button or the T-shirt, but what you've done within that group.
You're going to hear us all say how important that networking is. Do the networking when it isn't just to your advantage to do networking. Meaning, you've got to do it because you got to keep on doing it. You're not going to get anything right at that moment, but you got to follow up on it. And so be very deliberate. That means, so going back a little bit to the comments about the social networking stuff like that, use tools that help you do that. Find vehicles that allow you to connect with these people on a regular basis, and whether it is LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever it is that you're going to use, do something that says, I've got a way to connect with these people. And then the thing I would say for you personally is continually challenge yourself. It's easy to fall into a rut once you don't have the demands. And you don't see your life changing quite as much here, but the reality is you're on a different assignment, probably 3 or 4 or 5 assignments every semester, conceptually. When you get into your job, you're kind of on the same path, or at least doing some of the same things day in and day out. And it's easy to get lazy. It's easy to not challenge yourself. Continue to challenge yourself, and you will stay sharp and ready for that.
So network, just throw them out there. I did not enjoy networking. I'm not a networking type of person, but it's just it's invaluable to, that's how you get your next job. That's how you're going to transition out of the consulting world, eventually is through your network. So that's key. But also reiterate some of the other points that were made here. Get involved in activities that you're interested in and that do set you apart. You can join all the groups at the U, but if you're just a member of them, you're not really contributing. Be on the board of whatever group, or be the social person of the group or something. Just have something that sets you apart from everyone else in the group. And then also, to reiterate what you were saying is about staying out of your comfort zone. I think that's how you learn the most, is when you are uncomfortable, and it's not fun, but that's how you learn. And that's when you get through the uncomfortable part, you look back, you say, wow, I can't believe I just figured out how to do that. It just gives you a bunch of confidence, and you learn stuff you never learned before. And that's what consulting is on a daily basis. It's really uncomfortable. So the more experience you get doing that, it's very helpful.
So I'll build on that a little bit more with the networking section. I was just sitting here and I was sort of saying, I have to make sure I'm focusing more time on networking too. It served as a reminder to me as well. I think it's always important to to build sort of those enduring relationships with individuals, and not to look at it just as, you know, how can I get my foot in the door sort of thing, but just getting to know people and finding out what drives and motivates them. So you can, if you find an opportunity, you can help them out, and if they find an opportunity, they think of you to help you out. But building on that, I think, you know, things that I found a little helpful, I think might be helpful, is sort of like honing in and sort of cleaning up communication skills a little bit. I think often, you know, sometimes we communicate a little differently with like our siblings and our parents maybe than we would with a client. And just think about like next time something happens with a friend or a sibling, you know, how could you communicate with them differently so they may actually do something you want them to do instead of just get an argument with you, you know? Normally goes to supposed to be right. So I mean, just practical examples of how you can continue improving your communication skills and make it sort of just part of your natural toolkit. And I think the second is to the point of continuing to challenge yourself. I think was mentioned, but just stay inquisitive, excited about, you know, the things that you're passionate about and getting involved. Hopefully, you do that in consulting. If not, you find opportunities to do that outside of consulting too. But just to keep your brain going, staying excited, and challenging yourself.
Well, at this point, before we kind of break it up and go out and do the networking portion, more casual conversations, obviously they talk a lot about the relevance of networking. Why not put that to practice this evening? Let's give a hand for our panelists, for sure. There are beverages and some snacks out there. Feel free to help yourself, and they'll be available to chat. So